Question of the day. Have you ever, as a truck driver working for a company, have to bust out your company even though you might get fired for it and tell the Department of Transportation and get an officer involved in what's going on because you don't feel safe? Let's get into today's video. I mean, we got a big one here, and it's about the pressures of being a truck driver on the road, especially when working for a company. And for all the new drivers out there, I want you to listen closely here. At the end of it all, it's your safety first.
They could have replaced it in Arizona when I spotted it. They could have replaced it in California after I got unloaded or loaded. They could have replaced it again in Arizona as I passed through, or in New Mexico, or in Texas. But it took crossing the line in Oklahoma where it got so bad that my truck was doing this, violently shaking, to the point that when truck drivers were passing me, they were slowing down to flag me down to let me know and point at my tire because they could see that it was vibrating. It took stopping at the weigh station and asking an officer what to do for him to call my trucking company and give them an ultimatum. You either fix this now or I'm pulling that truck into the bay and doing a full inspection where they damn well will get a shitload of violations. But of course, my trucking company is very mad at me. They think I'm sabotaging them. They think that I went behind their back to cause them grief or cost them money. They had all the opportunities in the world to find a cheap place to replace that tire before it kills somebody, and look at how close we came to having a blowout. I drove way further on that tire than I ever should have because they kept telling me they'd get it replaced, until it got to the point where I had no other option but to stop because that truck was vibrating so violently I could not keep it in my lane properly. So yeah, I'm still at the weigh station with the wonderful Oklahoma DOT that's looking out, keeping the roads safe. And now my truck is safe. I'm going to deliver this load. And if they want to fire me, fire me.
What's going on, Mother Truckers? Welcome to Mother Trucker News. Email us at muthatruckernews@gmail.com. I thought today's topic for this podcast would be a good one. I get so many truck drivers that are new that always ask me, Alex, what do I do when my dispatcher makes me feel like I need to do something? And I know the rules, right? You know the rules. You know your hours of service. You know when something doesn't feel right. You know when, even if your hours of service aren't up, but you're extremely tired and you can't make it, and your dispatcher just has a way with words that just makes you feel forced to do the job anyway, and this is a very amateur mistake. I've made this mistake myself, right? I've done it in trucking. I've had the company that I work with, and it wasn't the dispatcher, it was the customer. I move furniture for a living. So the customer is like, hey, can you get it to me by tomorrow? If you can, I'd be happy, and this and that, and you're feeling pressured to do it. So it doesn't always have to be your dispatcher, but, have you been in a situation like that? And how did you react to it? Because it's hard. I mean, especially when you're the new truck driver, right? You're the new guy or girl. You almost feel like if you don't do it, then you're not going to get more loads. You won't be favored. You'll be hated, and you'll be on your way out. It's this crazy psychological thing that people do to you. And I remember straight up working at Walgreens where they, flashback for a second. I was working at Walgreens making like $12 an hour, and my store manager would make me feel so pressured that I would work off the clock for free like an idiot to try and, I don't know, please him for a raise. I don't know, to be a good pet. I have no clue what that is. But when you're new in something, you want to show your best foot forward, and you're thinking you're doing the right thing by keeping your managers and dispatchers happy, right? And so I'll be the first to tell you, don't do that. And this leads into the topic today in the video today, where a truck driver has come down to it that either fix a problem or get fired for, I don't want to call it tattletelling on the company, but it's pretty much, the steer tire was getting so bad, the truck driver was asking their safety manager's dispatcher to change the tire, and it got to the point where it was just shaking like crazy, right? And yeah, the driver went out in Oklahoma and told the Department of Transportation, got the officer involved, and made the officer call the company. Now, the truck driver did not reveal what company it was, but the driver was a little bit worried. I could tell, concerned that, they might get fired from their job for this. But at the end of the video, the driver said this would be a proud moment for them to get fired because it's more about safety. And you are the captain of your ship, especially when you're trucking, right? And so, what are your thoughts about this? It sucks that you have to get to the point where you feel bad about doing the right thing. And has that ever happened to you? I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Tell me what you think about this. But yeah, today's topic is, how do you fight that? And I don't want you to bust yourself out with your experiences down below, but, just food for thought. It happens to all of us. And I think a lot of drivers can learn from one another and be brave enough to do the right thing. If your company has faulty equipment and they want you to be on the road and they want you to drive and possibly, kill other people on the road, you got to save your own life and you got to save your own CDO. I'll give you guys an update if I hear anything more as far as like what company this is, but shame on them for sure. My own opinions about it at the end of the day is this truck driver did the right thing by busting them out, whistleblowing, right? So sometimes you got to do that. Have you ever been in a position like this?